Welcome to the latest dope episode of the HipPodHedz podcast, a podcast where No Sage and Novak discuss their favorite hip-hop moments. Pull up a chair, grab a beverage, fill up your cup and get comfortable. This is part 1 of episode number 44.
The episode, so I know exactly.
Yes, welcome to another dope episode of HipPodHedz. I'm No Sage along with Novak, and we got a special guest in the building. Marlo, what's up?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Man, it's been, how's your day going so far, man? It's been interesting. I did the hip hop nutcracker earlier, so I came in from that. That was interesting. Yeah, Curtis.
What is that?
What was that? It's
What is that?
It's like it's a nutcracker with Curtis Blow.
I thought y'all. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yeah, so what happens? Curtis Blow did like a set and everything like that today downtown the Cadillac Theater, and it was pretty. It was okay. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you see Curtis out there. Curtis, I'm not trying to be ageist and nothing. Curtis got to be in his 60s almost right now. So he came out with this white, like airbrush shirt on and everything like that, and everybody started cheering. Women were cheering. I'm like, man, Curtis still got it, man. So it was cool. Yeah, Curtis DJ Clue was the DJ, so it was pretty interesting. Somebody's
cool.
like, one of the kids asked, "Who's DJ Clue?" I'm like, "You don't know? Oh, you wouldn't know what DJ Clue is." So I just got quiet and went back into my own world at that point.
That's dope.
Yeah, I
About that. I wanted to ask you about that, Novak, because I saw you send me photos and videos of it, and I was like, "What's going on? A nutcracker for real? Hip hop nutcracker?"
Man, that's a kids event. We need to talk about it. They would like it. They would like it.
That's wild. That's wild. I think one of my guys told me they would regularly go to I think it was like the Q Brothers, and it would be at Navy Pier. I don't think they do it anymore, but it was sort of like on a similar vibe, similar like holiday rap sessions.
Yeah, you got Sugar Hill here too. They got a Sugar Hill version of the Hip Hop Nutcracker too.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody trying to cash in right now.
Folks trying to stay relevant, but it's all good though. I mean, it is 50 years of hip hop, and I can't blame them. You gotta gotta pay respect to the elder statesmen when we can.
That is true. I mean, we've been blessed. We've been blessed that some of these guys are like Teflon at this point. I mean, we lost a few people. Like, Biz Markie checked out. That was kind of sad. Then, hit the De La Soul situation. So yeah, we've been fortunate that a lot of the people we grew up listening to are still here. But definitely giving their flowers now while you see them, because they'll disappear before you even know it at some point.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. So yeah, I apologize. Something was going on with my specs earlier on my microphone or something, but I'm back. And I was gonna say, we got a guest in the building, Mr. Marlo. I know you from the PBA streets, the PBA basketball streets. What's up, man?
Yeah, man. I think I've been playing. Trying to do the math right now. It's got to be like 20 plus years, because I was playing when I was a shorty, and I'm still in it today. Not as often as I would like to be in terms of playing.
Right.
But yeah, that was like honestly, that was my AAU, because I didn't have the money to play AAU when I was in like grade school and high school. So
yeah,
that on the weekend, Sundays, that was my AAU, my basketball experience on the weekends.
I respect you saying that, because like me and Novak have chatted about the AAU, culture, as it were, and it is pretty pricey. So yeah, like Novak, did you ever play for AAU?
I did. I mean, it's
I know you know the ins and outs because like you had your daughter in there at one point, and then you kind of decided not to, and things of that nature.
it's the money. It's the money thing I don't like, and it's the fact that kids are not getting any better anymore doing it. And all they do is shoot threes. It's almost like then all the facilities around the city are shutting down. Like Windy City's gone. So Windy City, you do a PBA. So Windy City used to be a PBA site back in the day. I remember we used to square off in that gym a lot, at Windy City, and you get ran out the gym. Everybody like, oh, the Filipino cats came in, they're killing people, and so you up in there because a lot of dudes coming in not conditioned, and you know how it is when you really love basketball, and you got to explain it. For Chicago, it is when you love doing something. You ain't gotta be great at it. You just gotta have a lot of heart out there. A lot of cats come in with that super talent or whatever, that height, and they get devastated. I've seen it. I've seen it happen so much in this city. You're like, you guys just lost about 30. Yeah, they brought 25 people to the game, but you know what? You guys got ran up out of here. So it's like, I was at AAU. Is not the same as it used to be. I think you better off, man. Honestly, I had a guy give me some really good advice the other day. He's like, "You coach your kid. You're the only person gonna hold your kid accountable. The coach is not going to do that." So this came from an older guy that told me, like, "Hey, look, appreciate the time you got now with your family members and stuff. Teach them the game the right way, and it come back. It come back either in some form or help them out later in life. If you ain't got a hoop forever." But it is nice to have that option to go play anywhere you want to play. That's the way I look at it sometimes. I miss playing every day, but if you only get once or twice a week, it's good with me at this point. But with the kids, you just got to try to keep them, keep them happy doing it because you got kids riding bench in AAU that's like 12 years old, Jay. It's like, again, they don't even get in. They're paying $200, man, $200 a week, and they're sitting on the bench. And I'm like, this is not normal. So I mean, my thing is, we try to, my daughter's team, I help with the sixth grade team. We try to balance the minutes out and everything, so everybody plays. Because everybody plays on the team no matter what. So we know some kids that wouldn't play somewhere else are getting confidence now, and they're actually hitting jump shots and stuff. So we're trying to develop 1 through 10 instead of 1 through 3 like they do in most of the city. So we got 10. I'm trying to get 10 killers right now. I'm trying to get 10 little killers right now. We're working on it.
What program was that?
It's in my daughter's school, Old St. Mary's. They're out the South Loop. She was on Warriors. Warriors basketball is like they're the north side. So Warriors is pretty much like all the kids from like Humboldt Park. You got a lot of kids from like North Shore, and they bring them all together. So of course, the Humboldt Park kids are the offense. The other kids are paying for the program. If you know how this stuff works, it's almost like you know what I'm talking about. You need the money, and then you need the kids that come to the gym. People are like, how did they get on the team? I'm like, because you're paying for it. That's the reason how they got on the team. They're the ones doing all the work, at this point. But sometimes with these kids, you just got to be real with them and say, hey, look, man, you ain't as nice as you think you is, but I can help you get nice or help you get to where you want to go. A lot of times they got to drop their ego at the door. We got some sixth grade buttholes out there, to be honest with you, on the basketball circuit. But, I just want them to have fun. I told my kid, I don't care if you stop playing today. Just let me know. I just want you to be happy with what you do at this point. Go out there, represent, get off the court. You ain't got to cry about it. Man, it's some terrible attitudes out there. I give a shout out right now. One of my guys over at Lincoln Park, my guy Beebs, I give a shout out to Beebs. That program, he went there in high school. Lincoln Park High School just knocked off Whitney Young. That ain't been done in a long time. And those days, Beebs, they knocked him off. And I was like, wow. And so this guy, he's a dog, man. Beebs has always been one of my favorite point guards. Right, and that's Jay Ferg. And to see them knock off Whitney Young. The Whitney Young's program, a lot more money than Lincoln Park's program. So when Lincoln Park touched them, what that tells you right there is how bad you want it at this point. And those kids are working, and they got their own. They're out of Demons Chicago. To the Demons program is all Lincoln Park. So he's building MCs over there pretty much in those days. So he's got these little kids, man. These teenagers, man. He's building killers over there right now. So I salute Beebs on that.
Yeah, peeps.
I think I can go on and on about this AAU BS that's going on, but we got our own program too. It's probably a good time for me to advertise it, but we I think the difference that my program is called Triumph Hoops Academy, but I think we're like a smaller mom and pop kind of feel in terms of a program. And the difference is we build our kids up from, I mean, 4 and 5 right now. We have a little program started for the babies, but our eighth graders right now, they started about 4 or 5 years ago, and you can tell how much skill they have just because they've been working. But the biggest thing is they don't move. They don't move to different programs, which is what I think a lot of kids do nowadays. Oh, my friend's over here, let me go follow them. No, they're with the same kids throughout the whole year, summer, winter, whatever. So everything's getting stacked on whatever they learn, and they're staying with the same kids. So they're building that cohesion with them. But yeah, I think, and that's something that the Filipino community does. Like they stay with that Filipino team till they're 35 years old, and that chemistry is just there for them.
I mean, that's the way it should be, to be real. Just the way, that's the way, you think in terms of, we were like that out west, man. And like on the west side, I went to Resurrection, which is no more. And that grammar school, like, we played 80 games a year, man. So we became like family. And then you get to high school, you might stick with them and go like, no stage, all those cats went to Gordon Tech. So basically you're feeding into these high schools right now. So you guys already know, like, you keep them together as a group, you could do something special. Now, if you guys start breaking off as a group or your eighth graders all go different directions, then, you're not that effective, bless you, or you can't do that special thing. I mean, because, when you get that special group, you know who they are. That group you get, you're like, man, these guys here, man, can change the whole city. And it's like, it's like, man, I'm checking out Lead by Example, checking out your Instagram and everything like that. It's beautiful, man. You think in terms of, you got everybody coming out, you got everybody representing, you got everybody working toward one common goal. I mean, because, yeah, you're right. Hey, you ain't family. Hey, you was business at this point. That's the biggest issue.
Yep. It's a cash cow, man. And I was blessed to kind of be affiliated with some programs and just check it out. Because I took what I saw from there and what I liked from there and kind of implemented it to our program. But and you go into any of those practices, this 7 or 8 teams sharing one gym, 6 basket, like, come on. Come on. How many real drills can you do? How many how much attention can you keep from all these kids in one and yeah, I mean,
they just throw the ball out there and say, go get it. And, I know what you're talking about. They throw the ball out there. You got, like, I don't know if you ever caught the Windy City Fieldhouse where they closed down. And they got them programs that come through there. No, say it should be like 400 kids running around with one whistle. So, and you talking every kid is $400. So you got $400 running around the court. Then they charge them $25 to try out. So you pay $25 to try out. You pay $400 for 6 weeks. And then, what happens in that situation is most of those kids don't even play or they don't come at they don't like the program. So they end up keeping the $400 and your kid don't go no more. So it's a lot of drama in that situation. Like, what I want to see more in the city is more facilities. Like, man, if you open up more facilities in the city, you could take those kids and develop them better rather than have to pay for gym time. That's the big drama in the city of Chicago, gym time. It's not as bad as ice time if you play hockey. I had a lot of places play hockey and stuff like that. Hockey time is nuts, man. But gym time in Chicago is getting scarce because it's the same programs, just the same gyms all day. And they put an embargo on that stuff, it's around the city, unless you know somebody.
Hey, so Marlo, you brought up a couple of the brands, and I definitely wanted you to kind of share your story a bit. And I can't not think of basketball and hip hop in the same conversation. I definitely look up to you, and it's just kind of like crazy for me. You know what I'm saying? Like basketball and hip hop always go together. Like, I don't know, like pizza thin crust and RC cola or something like that. But I mean, it's like I appreciate you bringing up the Triumph brand because I actually had my kids join, and I had a lot of joy when I was in PBA. You know, coming up like when I was a young like baller. I think they call it like the Pee Wee division at that point. And it was just nice that y'all kind of reinvigorated some of that youth basketball blood into the leagues. And when you coached my older one, I just remember how animated you were out there. So I just knew that it was part of you. It didn't feel like it was phony or nothing. You were authentic out there, and I just appreciate you. Kind of like charging forward with everything and everything that you do. It seems like.
Yeah, man. It enjoy having them too. Man. Great listener and just easily coach. He just needs to play more reps. Like he played on Sunday. It's not gonna cut his day.
For sure. All those reps indeed. So I
Uh,
think I also saw your brand like being promoted at the what was it, the festival earlier this year, the Manila Zoo like weekend.
Yeah.
Um say a bit about like promoting the brand there and just other things that you've been involved in.
Sure, man. I mean, you got it in the background right there. Our brand. I started a full teacher, full time, and basically our mission is to empower people to model behaviors that they would in other people. I do a lot in terms of just being in front of youth. Teacher, I'm a basketball coach, father, and realize do positive or negative, kids will pick that up, or others are. So our apparel just serves as a tangible reminder that because we can be really to the people um, positively or negatively. So hopefully, kind of reminds you to impact.
I like the logo. I like the logo and everything. Like I picked the hoodie when I first got on. Like the hoodie's nice. Like I'm a big hoodie guy. So I saw it. I'm like, I gotta get one of those. I mean, it got the elephant pretty much. When you think about how strong the elephant is, and the elephant leads everything. Elephants create other leaders. The way I was taught that you never seen an elephant misguided out there. You see in every other animal that can't figure it out. Elephants are probably the smartest animals on the planet. When you think about it, so I understand it. Like in terms of like, I guess with your brands right now, you got lead by example. How do you like right now? This with your with the basketball program that integrates with the basketball as well, right?
Um, in some ways, I think it, before it was an apparel brand. Lead by example was just a mantra for me, and I was heavy into basketball. I would be the shortest guy on the team, but hey, I'm my court, and that term or that lead by would be just getting done with the also years that and just example been putting it as well. Teammates but too. That's kind of where the whole mantra or the idea of the brand came in.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah,
I
like,
love that.
yeah, I love it too.
Is it coming? Your audio's coming a little in and out for some reason, but I hear most of it. I was gonna say also, Novak, check this out. I'm not sure if I ever showed you this. This is like a dope ass shirt. I'm gonna actually take off my.
That's pretty cool, man.
It's
Take the
like
feline, to the feline F. That's
wow.
nice.
Yeah, man.
And there was another dope one he had that I think my older kid has, where it's kind of like the champion logo, but it says Filipino on it, right?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
That was nice. That was nice. But definitely like stuff
Uh,
like that, is like that like speaks to my my hip hop slash basketball blood. It's like all these like recognizable things that kind of just bring me back to simpler times.
And I
Man,
mean, I love those shirts. Like I see them everywhere too. I feel like that Manila Zoo and that just um, being at that event kind of helped me put the brand out there. However, I've kind of revamped it where I don't just put out Filipino Filipino only shirts just because if I want to be a big brand like Novak's not gonna wear a Philippine a Fila Filipino shirt. You know what I'm saying? So
you'd be surprised, man. If I could put on my low top felines, I do it. I'm about the fashion of it. It's like you think like it's no different than guys rocking chase shirts. You think about that whole situation. So I look at it like if it looked nice, I rock it because everybody rocks everybody gear in that situation.
yeah. Well, I feel that. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, here go my son wearing it. Let's see if it don't show.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
That's pretty
Was
dope.
it champion? But it's a
I like it. I like it.
But again, it
It's
was a
clean.
Filipino event. It was a Filipino event, so I just I had to attend to the to the crowd, to the audience, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, but
dope.
you think about basketball and hip hop, like No Sage is saying, it intersects. I mean, like especially you think in terms of like every the way we hoop sometimes, or what you listen to for your hoop, is hip hop everywhere in that regard. So I think that's what got me into basketball. And I was just shorty is that the way we got basketball was when those gyms were packed, like West Side, South Side, North Side. There was always a DJ. There was always a party at every basketball game. So that's what got us into basketball. A lot of my buddies started hooping because they wanted to go to the dance after the basketball game, and so they didn't want to hoop. But hooping became second love, then became primary love after you discovered that if I get good at this, everybody like me in my neighborhood, everybody like me on my block, or you get respect on all sides of the city. It ain't nothing like going to another side of the city and somebody recognizing that you put work in, or they know you know for putting in work. So it's a respect thing. University in the city, anywhere you go and hoop basketball, man. Like I didn't understand it much until I went away for college, and then I came back. But when you say Chicago, it ain't West Side, North Side, South Side. It's the city of Chicago. They group us all together in one pot and say, "Oh, you from the Chi? Oh, you guys ball." So it's like it's a nice thing to hear. But yeah, basketball was like the background music for us most of the time, or whatever was hot at that point in time. We were balling out there. What do you think is the biggest what do you think is the biggest challenge right now working with kids today? What do you think is the biggest issue you're running into?
Oh, your audio coming in okay, Marlo?
No, it's not. Hold
Okay, we
on.
can hear you good now.
We hear you now. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we hear you.
You sound loud and clear.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
before you
Cool.
riff on that, I did also want to stack on what Novak said too. It's kind of like some of my guys we had on this podcast, they were telling me about mixtapes that I would make for them in high school to be the walkout music, you know what I mean? Like be the intro music to like our warm-ups, right? And it's kind of like even when I'm old man hooping now, like there's always somebody bringing like a wireless speaker, and it's like when they're not
Hmm.
jamming with something, I'm like I sort of feel like there's something lost. Yeah, so it's like yeah, it definitely is like the background music, and yeah, it's like I cannot not think about like hip hop when I'm playing basketball. Although there are some cats that will play, country or EDM or something else from time to time. Like, all right, fine, that's cool. Let's roll. Let's do it.
And they don't get picked up by us. You're not on my team. But
You-
also too, like with hip hop and basketball, like if anybody makes a mixtape nowadays, what are they putting as their music, right? Like when they make a highlight tape or you make a reel on Instagram, I'm not searching R&B or rock. Like it's definitely hip hop, 100%.
I believe that. I appreciate that. And it's like, to kind of like go back to what Novak was bringing up earlier, I feel like there's a rhythm on the court, and there's like sort of like that unteachable rhythm when you teach like youngsters on the court, right? So it's like when they're tapping into that like element of the game, it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like they're breakdancing out there, right? When they're like crossing over fools and whatnot. So that in itself is like a hip hop like gesture, I would say. But yeah, I guess to kind of like double down on what Novak was saying, like is there something that you feel like is a little, I don't know if challenge is the right word, but like different to kind of like aid in some of these ballers games nowadays? Because it's like the game has changed a bit, and
I mean,
fundamentals and whatnot.
it was cutting out for Novak. That's why I was looking crazy on
Oh,
on
okay.
the video.
Yeah.
But if the question is about like just what I think the youth needs to work on nowadays, it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that,
more or less.
oh, I mean, it's always going to be fundamentals for me. It's always going to be fundamentals, and I feel like again with our program, we teach like if you go to a park district program, right, and you enroll your kids into a basketball class, they're just going to have them get in line and then tell them to dribble up and shoot, right? They don't teach them how to shoot. They don't teach them how to hold the ball. We spend 4 weeks on how to hold the ball before we actually get into a move to go shoot the ball. Because what's the point of them wasting their money if I just tell them to run up and shoot and they're just chucking it, right? No, I don't care if you miss 100 times, but if it looks like this, we're good, because by the time you get stronger, that thing is going to go in, and it's just repetition. Hey, you held your follow through. Hey, your arm was up towards the ceiling. Like eventually it's going to click because your strength is going to get there, but you have all the mechanics. So if that ball is rotating backwards, it's going to go in. Eventually, you just have to keep stacking that skill and keep and we're on them about it. We teach the same stuff over and over, and if they keep hearing it, hey, it's gonna click sometime. But yeah, I would say fundamentals for sure. We even with my fifth graders and sixth graders who've been in the program for a while, like the first thing we do is shoot mid-range shots, 10 minutes, mid-range shots. Because if you can't make 10 in a row mid-range, 5 in a row mid-range, why are you out there shooting a three? You out there shooting a three, right? Because if your fundamentals, if your shot looks good and perfect at the mid-range, if you even don't shoot a three, like don't practice a three, and you pull up from three, your mechanics will be well enough where that ball has a good chance of going in. So that's where I'm at. And I think one of the things that's killing the game right now is these mixtapes, these hoop mixtapes and these highlights, these Instagram reels, because that's all they're watching. What they need to be watching is like, they need to search coaches talk on YouTube. Like search a college coach talk about how to play the game. And that's when you'll learn something, I feel like, because now they're just doing all this trickery. And I hate when kids go in layup lines, try to do a 360 layup or a through the legs layup. Like, when are you ever going to do that? And you just missed 6 layups regular. Why are you trying to do? Why are you trying? And your footwork is off on your opposite hand. Like, how? Why are we doing this now? So, again, fundamentals. It's a very general statement, but man, take you a long way.
You're right about that. It is scary to see when you see a 6th grader come in gym with a double step back with no dribble and pull off from 3 and shoot an air ball. And then everybody, and then everybody laughing at the kid because I'm dealing with the little girl. Like little girls and little boys are funny. So sixth grade girls, you're right. We scream. I'm screaming beef every day. Balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. I'm screaming. I got them shooting one hand from 2 feet from the basket for like 30, 40 minutes. The problem you get a lot of times is that they want to play full court, and I'm looking like you guys can't play half court. Spacing is bad. You probably see the spacing issues. They don't know how to V cut. They don't know how to flare to get open. They don't move. They bring their defender to the ball. This new thing I've started to do now is take the balls away and make them run around with no balls. And that was a main trick our coach used to do to us in grammar school. We have a ballless practice. When you have no balls, man, you're just out there pretending to play basketball and people space out. And I thought it was mean as hell when I was a kid, but I totally understand. Like you saying, like it's the fundamentals. We used to have guys. If I turn my head up the wrong way on the hip side, I can hit upside the head with a basketball. You can't do that today. But back then, that's how I learned to play defense. I learned to play defense because if I'm not in my stance, my fingers ain't pointed, I ain't moving my feet, the ball's gonna smack me in the back of my head. So at some point, I think it clicked around 6th, 7th grade for me. If I don't get my ass down and get on that help side, something bad will happen to me. Either I get scored on, a coach gonna hit me with the ball, man, or like I mean, what we went through probably was abuse. What they go through today, is more. Hey, if you keep reaching like that, because they all want to steal the ball. Like these jump balls in these games. Have you seen how many jump balls there are in the 5th or 6th grade game? It's like offense almost for them. They tie you up and they look for the arrow. The kids look straight at the scores desk. It's our ball. It's like that is not that you got to play a little bit cleaner than that. I told my kid the other day. I'm like, when we reach, Coach will have us put our hand out. He'll turn his ring around and slap us with his ring across our knuckles. That's what made us stop reaching. And so I was like, I can't do that to you guys. You can't say suicides in practice no more. You know about that. So you got to say ladders. You can't say, like with girls, you say man to man, they look at you like it's offensive. I'm like, well, person to person. I'm going to take gender out of basketball. Let's do a person to person. You got it, because, little girls get upset. Why is it man to man? I'm like, what do you want me to call it? What about girl to girl? Like, all right, it's girl to girl. Let's do a 3-girl weave, up and down the court. So I had to change my pronouns, but I would say, like, I agree with you. Fundamentals is the biggest issue. I got so many little girls coming to gym trying to shoot half-court threes. Or the new one is I want to dunk. I got to tell my kid the other day, Daddy can dunk a basketball. I'm not going to say never dunk a basketball, but don't count on it. I want you to learn how to make a layup. Maybe you can slap the glass. Mm-hmm. But if you ever dunk a basketball, the game, it's like Godzilla evolution. We evolved to the point where, you know what? Y'all dunking basketballs like that, then we just have one NBA at this point, to be honest with you. But I think that's the fantasy, I think, one day is that if they ever catch up, and you're starting to see it now. I've seen little girls in high school dunking balls now. And they're doing it clean, man. Marlo, they're doing it clean. I saw a little girl like 2 weeks ago, 2, 3 in Elgin. She took off stride and dunked the ball. I put my cup down. I was just like, and this is a 7th grader. 7th grader. She was 6'1". She took off and dunked it in stride. And I was like, man, this world is changing right now. I give it about 10 years before you got girls throwing lobs to each other. Give it 10 years.
Probably shorter than that, man. Probably shorter than that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It ain't the height, though. I keep telling them, like, I had buddies that are like 5'6", 5'7", dunking on people, man. And they were like, what, why did he dunk on people? He wanted it. If you're doing plyometrics, if you're doing the calf raise, you get the fast twitch muscles rolling and everything like that. There's some guys out there catch you nasty out there. You be out there like, I just got, this little dude just tried to dunk on me. But it does happen. You get somebody sneak up on you, and you be like, okay, he went up like he was 6'4". But never underestimate a hooper. I always tell these guys, people have respect for your opponent. You don't know exactly how that little girl's good or little boy is good. Be careful what you say out there until you understand it, basically. It's more of a humble approach to basketball. You get blessed anywhere in this city. You just got to understand there's somebody out there looking to kill you. And I teach them every day, like, either you're a hunter or you're getting hunted out there. But at the same time, respect the game. Don't waste my time in the gym. Don't show up without shoes on. Oh, they're terrible, man. They show up missing a shoe. Or I need the new Kobe's. You ain't Kobe, man. You ain't Kobe, son. You didn't even. You can buy the new Kobe's, but you still ain't nice. It doesn't matter at this point. I want to start them off with Air Force Ones in the gym. I'm like, look, you guys can start with the Air Force One whites, man. Or you know what? The ones that are nice, you're getting the black Air Force Ones. That's about it. So the shoe game is the shoe game is out of control with the kids.
How do
You
y'all
probably
how do
see it
y'all
too.
feel? This kind of off topic from shoes, but how do y'all feel about the celebrations nowadays? Like when people
Too
shoot a
small.
three,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when people shoot a three, when people take it in, whatever, score a layup, yep, the two small ones. But again, this there's celebrations over on everything. What do y'all how do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, that's wild because like, kind of seeing the too small stuff, like it was a little jarring at first, but now it's been done so many times by even tall and short fools. It's like, all right, what this is language now. I guess we gotta rock with it. And then, yeah, the three ball stuff is crazy too. It's like throwing up the little okay sign,
Hmm.
and not even looking at it, right? Like, okay, I guess we're at the point where you just lob it up there and you're just like going back and deep because like that's how confident you are. Man, it's it's a little off base at times, I would say.
Have you seen the balls one yet? Have you seen the one where they do like the thing like they cuffing their balls, man? It's like some kid told me he a killer, so he does the ball motion. And the first time I saw like an eighth grader do it, I had to pause a minute. I'm like, you ain't got no hair on your balls, man. I mean, no disrespect. He out there he did the gorilla sign to one of the kids out there. He had a three, and he did it like he had balls, man. I looked at him for a second, like, come on, man. My take on it is you can do that. You can do that stuff to a certain point, but from a coaching perspective, I try to make them stop doing that stuff because it's going to turn into a fight. And everybody's sensitive now, so there's sensitivity with these kids. Kids cry at games now. We didn't cry like that. Our generation didn't cry. You know what we did? We got even. So it's different today. Like kids talk a lot of trash, man. I would say they're a different generation than we were. We played the dozens. They played the dozens. Somebody got to talk to the school shrink. Somebody need to have an off day or have I forgot they call it a day where they don't want to participate. They got a mental
Mental health.
health care day, mental health day. These kids, they're not built the same as we are. Like there's some stuff that people say to you in the Chicago in the gym. If you said the same stuff you said in like 2090s, you might kill somebody. I think the too small thing, the shoot the three and turn around and run back for hit the rim. Oh, it's nuts when they do that now. They let it go and turn around and run up the court and it's an air ball. I saw that a couple of times. I'm like, he ain't hit the rim. And what I do is I yank him off the court at that point. Time out. Get him. Come sit next to me. Let's talk about that. I'm like, you think you're that nice, son? This is talking to a little girl. You think you're that nice, though? Or the new one is they're all Euro stepping. Have you seen the Euro? You see when they Euro step now toward the basket and they travel and then they want to argue about it? Well, I didn't Euro step. Tony Parker does all the time. Tony Parker didn't do that. Tony Parker didn't step like you step. LeBron does it. I'm like, LeBron's a freak of nature. So when LeBron gathers and takes three steps, the NBA allows that. You're not LeBron James. You can't gather and take three steps and miss a layup. Oh, I can't? No, you can't do it. So I mean, I would say Stephen Curry's effect on the game and LeBron's effect on the game has changed the way people play the game. I think Steph has been more influential than LeBron, to be honest with you, because Steph has gave everybody hope. That small white kid now is a shooter. That black dude's a shooter. Whoever's a shooter in the gym. So it's nuts because everybody now feels that I might not be able to run the jump, but I got a 40-foot jump shot and I got a 2-foot step back. So that's the new basketball world right now. I'm noticing.
The celebration
It's
conversation too makes me think about like
mhm,
Novak remembers this point, but I saw this year the Hulu Lakers Legacy
mhm.
docuseries or whatever it was. It was like 10 plus episodes. They tracked it all from the Lake Show era, Magic all the way to LeBron. And I think that docu-series is sort of making an argument about like when we were in the Van Exel era, that's kind of like when the LA riots happened, right? So that's when
Mm-hmm.
sort of basketball had a little more gravitas to it. Like people were dunking, people were getting angry, people were like, kind of like doing angry, angsty celebrations. But I couldn't help but think like those type of gestures were sort of hip hop too. But Yeah, like if you were to like equate it to like a rap battle, it's not like you can't have a celebration without like spitting some dope bars first, right? Like you gotta go to work, you gotta go to battle, and then if you actually came out clean and the crowd enjoyed it, then I guess you should celebrate. I don't know. Like that's really big in football too, right? I mean, like the time bombs and the spinning the footballs, and you got more time to do a celebration with that. It becomes like a cheerleader thing too.
I'm teaching them just to stare people down. I believe in the stare down. I know it's wrong. That's why I've gotten in trouble for staring at people. So I just stare at them. I like, if you get a basket or something like that, you get fouled, I just turn and look. Sometimes you get teed up for that stuff, depending on what you're playing at, or, whoever, some referees know they call it taunting at that point. But I think silence is golden, even though
Yeah.
I'm teaching them just to, like, stare or even compliment them. Yeah, tell the other kid, hey, good job. Next time I'm going left. So beat me left next time, basically. Or that's what I'm teaching them to be more clever with it at this point. Make the other kid laugh about it, because yeah, it's some brutal stuff out there, man. Like, with the kids that I deal with now, we take them out to the south side somewhere and let them ball. It's trauma. They're not used to that speed, man. So, every gym's got a different speed circuit. You probably already know about, Marlo. You go into some places and the kids are like, man, as soon as that jump ball goes up, those two guards, man, are just like lightning in a bottle. And like, what happens, you got your kids out there and they're used to playing at certain speed inside that gym. And they get out there, I said they get out there, I compare it to like monster movies. I'm like, hey, you guys are Ghidorah, that's King Kong over there. Let me explain to you how this is going to work. My strategy a lot of times is that we target the kid that's good in the gym when we play against them. I'm like, you got to make that person feel uncomfortable. I got a kid out there, I direct orders. I need you to bump her every time she walks across the lane. She can't run across the lane, skipping across the lane. Give her a little bump. And my kids are funny. They were like, Cobra Kai? No Cobra Kai. No Cobra Kai. We can't go Cobra Kai. Or I tell them we got 5 fouls. Man, I told one of the girls on the team, she's a big girl. You got 5 fouls. I'm just letting you know right now. You can have 2 good ones in the first quarters, 2 good fouls. The other 3, we're gonna save those. We'll put those in the box for later. But if you knock somebody down, you help them up and say you're sorry in that situation. She's like, why I gotta do that? To say you're sorry. The refs laugh about it. The other week, I think she bumped somebody and knocked this girl down. She looked at her and picked her up. That's how big she is. She picked her up with one hand. Said, I'm so sorry for knocking you down. The ref starts laughing. He stopped the game to laugh. He's just like, did she just help up and apologize? I'm like, still teaching sportsmanship in that situation, but you can't let the killer on another team get into the middle of the zone. I try to get we try to play man to man, as you already know, but the zone sometimes is helpful. If the kids can't shoot, zone it up. Grown-ups can't shoot. Put it in the zone. Put them in the zone, because they don't know how to hit the gaps of the zone. So when you put that 2-3 out there, that 3-2, or a box and one, I fold my arms on the sideline and try to figure out who's smart enough to figure out what the hell we're running right now. Because I'm teaching them to read the defense. What are they running? They're in a 3-2, coach. All right, what are we doing? We attacking from the corners? Or we flashing to the middle? What are we doing out there right there? So, it's like, it's teaching them to think like basketball players, opposed to they're just out there running around taking bad shots. So, I think defensively, putting defense in first, their offense will come along. Their defense to offense is the best way to go with these kids, man. If they can guard people, we got a lot of dirty points, I call them. Like, I tell them, if I get 4 layups a day for the game for you guys just stealing the balls, I'm happy with everybody out here. I get a charge, get some layups. If you guys hit a jump shot, so be it in that situation. But that defense sparks that offense quick.
Yeah, defensively, that's another thing. And this seems like a basketball podcast rather than a hip hop podcast. But
It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah, I told Jay earlier, like, man, I have my artist that I listen to, and that's it. But I don't know too much about hip hop. But going back to the AAU stuff, like, is it really basketball when they just press in the whole game? Like, are you really learning something about how to play basketball, or are you just more athletic and more and quicker than the other team and just getting steals and layups like that. And then you do that 3 games in a row on a Saturday. Like you're a basketball player. You're an AAU star. Are you going to be, does that equate to college basketball? Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no. So again, that's my kind of, where I see AAU as like a downfall or I don't like that part of it.
It's the coaches, man. Some coaches are good senseis in that situation. Some coaches are not very good coaches. Like like if it's one of the dudes I played with, I know that if it's somebody I played with, I know they teach it the right way. In that situation. If it's somebody that I don't know like that in that situation, depending on how they learn basketball, or they're just doing it for financial reasons. You pick it up right away. You get, like I was telling earlier, the guy that we know from college, Beasley. I feel like he teaches it the right way because he was a point guard. Point guards or guards in general know everybody's responsibilities on that court. So it's hard for a point guard not to know what the center's supposed to do and what the 3 or the 4 is supposed to be doing out there. They're field generals. So I think PG's made the best coaches, to be honest with you. I saw it from like a wing or 4 position at that point. So I don't see it the way like somebody with the ball in their hand all the time sees it. You know what I mean? So it's hard. AAU programs a lot of times are ran by either guys who never really played basketball and they just want to be a coach, or somebody that Nike or Adidas, somebody playing in the community to be a leader at this point. So, there's a lot of that goes on. So there's a lot of plants out there. Like, you're talking about studio plants in hip hop. There's artists we feel like they shouldn't be artists. There's coaches I feel like shouldn't be coaches. And there's a lot of bad coaches out there. Me and No Sage are talking about their coach from high school and what his experience is like. And one bad coach, man, can mess up your whole love of basketball at that point. I've had bad coaches. A bad coach is somebody that don't care about you as a person. All they care about is winning and losing. I don't care if we win one game, but if I can make you a better person or make you feel like you belong in this program, I mean, that's cool with me. It's not about winning all the time. I like winning, but it's a price for winning in this situation. I'd rather have this coach come up to me, be real with me and say, hey, man, you might not go D1, but I can make sure you go D2 or D3. And that's the reality check with these kids you got to have sometimes. Be like, look, you know what? D1 is up here. You're right. I send my kids videos of what to watch or who to watch. There's some players I let them watch. And some coaches said, like I'm not telling you go watch a Calipari video. That's Kentucky's a whole different mentality compared to the rest of basketball. But there's some great coaches out there. They ain't coaching on ESPN every week. They're just great people. You know what I mean? With great stuff to say to you.
So Marlo, what is it about to continue the basketball podcast conversation? You brought up you brought up college. You invoked it a couple times. So I'm curious, like, do you feel like there's like a certain type of style of play that's dope in college that might get lost when it reaches to the NBA? Because I'm just curious.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite basketball to watch would be FIBA or like overseas, but I think the loss aspect is the team, like the team game, right? In college, there's certain strategies that you implement. There's plays that you run. When you get to the NBA, the star got to get their shots. The star got to get their ISO plays. And when you talk about running a play in the NBA, it's really to get the star or who, if it's a shooter, right? The shooter only get 1 or 2 plays, but really your star gets it on their spot. They'll set a cross screen to get their player in the mid post, and then they just throw it to him with about 14 seconds on the clock, and then that's the play. But again, when you get to that level, like, I'm taking that all day. If I got Kawhi down there and he scores 50% of the time, I'm taking those percentages all day. Like, why not? But yeah, the lost art is the the team aspect, and that's part of the reason why I was really into the Spurs. The Spurs were my favorite team for a while, and then Golden State kind of took over in terms of how they just moved the ball. It didn't matter who scored the point, but that ball is just moving just because they're all clicking on the same page.
There's energy in that ball movement. It's
Yep.
energy. Like, when the ball sticks out there and people get to like set the defense, like, you teach kids, get the ball out and go. Don't let them set up. Don't wait for them to get in their zone or whatever. Little kids wait for them to set up. I'm like, go, 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 go. It's pace and space pretty much. Golden State taught us pace and space. And then they also taught us that the way they move, the championship teams, the way they move the ball was incredible, man. It was like boom, 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 layup, three. And those guys knew where to feed people at on the court. So it's like, I would say, like, you're right about FIBA. FIBA is a pretty game right now. The NBA is ISO, ISO, ISO. The NBA is like, but think about it, everybody in the NBA is a star somewhere. So the worst guy on the team was the star of Northwest Kentucky. You know what I mean? And he only get in the game. So everybody on that bench, like, people always talking about, you call a grown man a bum in the NBA. You got to really ask yourself a question. If that bum came in your gym today, he giving you a 50. That's the crazy thing about it. An NBA bum is a 50-point guy in the wild on the weekend. He'll put 50 on your head real quick. I used to feel that way. We used to play at the Armory on the north side, and you get like Crawford and all them, Jamal Crawford, when he lived here. They come to the gym. And, Jamal Crawford's nice. He's nice, but you might see like Marcus Fizer. I know you remember Marcus Fizer. You were like, oh man, I can bust it. No, that's a whole different. That's a grown man right there. So it's an NBA player. Plus he got access to weight programs and food programs that we don't even know about, and also supplements we don't want to know about. So it's different. Like, you tell a kid today, if you can't, they play one-on-one all day. These are professional scorers. These people have one job, get buckets. Everybody, old dude over there he might be a better defender, but good offense kills good defense 90% of the time in the NBA today, because you can guard that guy the right way, he'll still get you 40. You can see every player contesting the shot, you close it out, he still hit it. It don't matter.
That's a professional scorer, it don't matter. Like you said. Professional
scorer. And it took me a long time to understand that, but there's some people out there, that's what they do for a living. They take souls. And there's nothing you can do about it. We had a guy pop in on us like that, like a couple times on the north side, and we didn't know we played in Italy for a while. Dude, we played up to, we played 4 quarters, 10-minute quarters. He had 72. And I'm just like, this is not natural, but that's what he do for a living. He does that in Italy for a living. So that's when you got to put a harder foul on him, not to be disrespectful. You might lay him out at that point. When he gets to 50, he should never get to 50. I'm not saying, you might make him feel it or something like that. But, there are people out there, man, come light up a gym. Like, they do it to us at DePaul all the time. I went to DePaul after I left Benedictine, and man, I ain't never seen so many professional scorers in my life, man. It's like you're in the gym, cats are coming from all over Europe, just killing people. They come home on the weekends or come home after the European season over. You got killers on deck. 15 points is short in that gym. The Ray Myers Center. It was a short 15 points, man. You close your eyes and that dude got 8 out of that 15. But you learn how to play basketball at that point.
So Marlo, I love the team aspect you brought up. And I know we're sort of rounding out the hour, so we might be looking for some final thoughts. But I can't help but think about, my own hip hop inspiration and everything. So like these last few episodes, we've had some people that have been interested in rock and punk, and I can't help but identify that in hip hop too, because there is that angst, there is that energy, there's that rock element too. But the team element you talk about in basketball is just like blowing up my mind, because like, like for me, it was all about the woo, right? But coming up in the 90s, you always had the hip hop groups. You had like Flip Mode Squad and Terror Squad. So for me, I was always looking for that like hip hop collective that kind of like had everyone in sync and brought everybody to kind of shine. So it's kind of dope to hear you kind of like share love for basketball as a team game, because like this is kind of like on a tangent, but I remember this professor that I worked for. He said that if you if you pulled apart a Google search history, right, and the word selfish, and you isolated it with any sport, for some reason, basketball is the only sport that is lumped together, right? So you think about the baseball aspect or football or whatever, soccer for that matter. But for some reason, when you Google selfish basketball, that's like a higher keyword search than any other sport. And it kind of goes to what y'all were talking about, you know, with the hero ball, the professional scorers or whatnot.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I also want to,
and I'm trying to, while you say that, I'm like trying to figure out why they would be like that. But I guess because in any other sport, you can't just take the ball and, I mean, I guess you can do it in soccer, but it's a lot more work because that field is huge. But in basketball, you can literally get past the ball and you're going to shoot it for sure. Like, and you can do that every time. You can't do that in baseball.
yeah, you know, it's like there's endless like threads, there's endless overlap. And then I was just thinking about, for me, for my kids, I'm helping coach seventh graders. I'm trying to teach them that, you know, you are a threat out there, and they already know who the strong scorers are. So it's almost to the point where they're just shutting themselves mentally that they can't be a threat. Like I had to stop practice. Like, hey, why don't you at least taking a look at the rim? Like you are a threat. You're out there. It's not like soccer. You're not like a forward scorer. Like if you're legitimately there and you're wide open, like take a look, you know?
This concludes part 1 of episode number 44. Thank you for listening to the HipPodHedz podcast, a podcast where No Sage and Novak discuss their favorite hip hop moments. Share, like, subs, comment to the show on YouTube and Spotify. Go out and listen to something dope today.